Hey, friends. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hearties. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined by my wonderful co-host, Brennan, to talk about When Calls the Heart, Season 1, Episode 4, Secrets and Lies. It was written by, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name, John Weirick, and directed by, again, Michael Landon Jr. After finding the cans of whale oil, Jack investigates Kat Montgomery for her possible involvement in the church arson case. When the evidence points to Kat, Gabe becomes infuriated by the idea of his mother being imprisoned for something she didn't do. And we are back for a third episode recording today. That is why we are in the same clothes as the previous two episodes. Of course, these episodes will not be posted at the same time. So just clarification for all the Hardies watching. We're recording 2, 3, and 4 all on the same day. So anyway, what were your first impressions and possibly your hot take of the week for this episode?
Well, this episode was another fantastic episode. I thought it was a very intense, high stakes, lots of drama, but good drama in this episode. And I really loved, we got to see so much of Jack in this episode. I think,
Yes.
as far as season 1, I think this is the most we've gotten to see of him.
Yeah.
In these first 4 episodes. I love seeing him so much.
Yeah.
And so much of the Montgomery family, which I love. Mom Kat, Gabe and his brother. Remind me his brother's name. I'm sorry.
Miles.
And a lot of Emily. And there were certain parts of this episode that reminded me of a certain episode in season 7, which had a lot of Nathan, Elizabeth, and Emily.
Oh, was that Into the Woods?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
We will get to that episode when we get to it.
We will.
Because I haven't reviewed season 7. Of course, I've watched season 7, but the podcast didn't exist when season 7 was airing. So I think my first impression of this episode, maybe it's just a word to describe it, or 2 words: suspenseful and maybe heartfelt.
Those are good.
A brief episode recap. It picks up literally where episode 3 left off, when suspicion falls on Kat after Jack finds the cans of whale oil.
And I really appreciated how episode 4 picked up right where 3 left off.
Yeah. I think that was the first cliffhanger of the show.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, when she's talking to Kat later on. This line makes me chuckle every single time. Anyone who thinks you're an arsonist needs his head examined, including Constable Thornton.
She just had to throw that in there.
Yes, because she's on a walk, through one of the wooded areas, and Jack rides by and just completely ignores her, and she's like not pleased at all that he ignores her. She's like, Jack! Hello, I'm right here.
Right. How rude. How rude.
To quote Michelle on Full House. Despite her insistence that the oil was used for candle making, her absence from the town vigil, and the conflicting stories from her children lead Jack to arrest her. Meanwhile, Elizabeth receives a valuable necklace from a student, Albert, who found it in a creek. The necklace is traced back to Mr. Spurlock. I think his first name is Charles, who had once offered to pay off Kat's late husband's gambling debt in exchange for inappropriate favors, a deal she refused. Elizabeth connects the necklace to the fire and discovers evidence that Spurlock framed Kat out of spite. Not cool.
No.
When Elizabeth confronts him, Spurlock turns violent. But Jack intervenes just in time. And with the truth revealed, Kat is released, her name is cleared, and the episode ends on a lighter note with the sweet moment between Jack and Elizabeth on the boat with the picnic lunch.
Yes. So beautiful.
Yes. And we will talk about that scene later on because I love that scene.
Me too.
So, Hearts of the Valley, what were your thoughts on Jack in this episode?
Oh, well, I just love seeing so much of him in this episode and just his continued work and investigating what was really going on. I mean, he had so much great screen time. He was in almost every scene, and really it was us seeing more and more of him, obviously as a Mountie, but really seeing that he really is an excellent Mountie, an excellent man, things that are still being said about him in current seasons. So I love just that we got to see so much of him and how dedicated he is to his work.
So in this episode, I think like you just stated, we see his commitment to justice that leads him to arrest Kat based on circumstantial evidence. However, upon uncovering the truth that Kat was framed by Spurlock, who sought revenge after she rejected his advances, I really do love how his sense of fairness and dedication to uncovering the truth are evident. And also how his protective instincts are showcased when he arrives just in time to save Elizabeth from Spurlock. And this reinforces his role as the steadfast protector of the community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think we talked about this maybe when we were reviewing season 12. Of course, we love Nathan. And, we love his family first values above his job. But we also love Jack. And I do think, while some may disagree with me, I do think that Jack was a good man.
Oh, I do too. And he was. Absolutely.
Even though he did most of the time put his job first, he did still dearly love Elizabeth.
Oh, he did. I mean, once he committed to her, she was the only one, had he not passed, he would have never left her. He would have been committed the rest of his life.
Yep. As Lori stated in that Facebook Live, the only way that Jack would ever leave Elizabeth was in death.
That was absolutely true.
And technically, Jack would still be alive if Dan had not left the show. That's true. He would. But we would not have gotten Nathan if Dan had not left. It's kind of a two-edged sword, so to speak.
It is. I love both of them dearly, and I find myself just being grateful that we have both of them.
Yes. But anyway, we are not in season 6 through 12 when Calls the Heart. We are in season 1 when Calls the Heart. So back to Coal Valley. What do you think about Elizabeth in this episode?
Oh, well, I really appreciated how Elizabeth was also looking out for the Montgomery family, trying to stand by Kat's side and kind of go to bat for her and defend her, but also being there for the kids as well. She was with them when Jack went to ask them questions. She really stood by and supported this family.
Yes. I love how her nurturing nature really shines through in this episode, as she steps in to care for Gabe, Emily, and Miles, as you stated. during her mother's arrest. And her interactions with Albert, a shy boy who gives her the necklace that came from Spurlock. It demonstrates her ability to connect with her students on a personal level. Her refusal to accept the necklace, and I'm sure we'll talk about the scene itself when we get to it, but that refusal and her explaining that heartfelt gestures are more valuable than material gifts reflects her values and the lessons she imparts on her students. Her pursuit of the truth regarding the necklace further illustrates her integrity and determination to support her community. Again, she's going above and beyond for her community.
Oh, she sure is.
She is just growing every episode.
She is. It's incredible. Yes,
Mhm.
I agree.
Yes. So, Kat, what did you think about Kat in this episode?
Oh, this was another episode. I'd watched it only once years ago. So this was another episode that I didn't really remember. And it was tough because I myself, while watching it, was unfortunately suspicious of her because I wanted to believe that she didn't do it. But
Yeah.
to be honest, for most of the episode, I was kind of thinking, I hope not, but there's a chance that she could. So to find out what really happened, I was very relieved.
Yeah, me too. Her character is explored beyond the surface as the episode reveals her past struggles and the lengths that she went through to protect her children. Her decision to falsely implicate herself in the arson case to shield her family from Spurlock's threats showcases her selflessness and maternal love. Totally agree with that.
Yes.
Her eventual release and community support highlight themes of forgiveness and the importance of understanding one's actions within the context of their circumstances. So she grew a lot in this episode too.
Oh, she sure did.
Yeah. We'll talk about, some of her scenes in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then Gabe, what did you think about Gabe in this episode?
Oh, Gabe. Well, what a fantastic performance. I mean, he just really fought for his mom, for his family. I mean, he just would not back down. He was just very bold, even in his actions against Jack,
Yes.
trying to stop him. And what an incredible performance. I mean, he just had such high, intense emotions, and he really cares and loves his family. You can see how empathetic he is, how sympathetic he is. He just cares and loves so deeply.
Yes. He grew a lot in this episode too.
Yeah.
I just love his protective nature towards his mom and his siblings, especially Emily. We have that sweet little moment or touching moment between him and Emily when she can't sleep and she goes to Gabe's room. This is after she had overheard her mom and Elizabeth talking about fire. And he says, "Why are you still up?" And she says she can't sleep. And she explains that she heard the conversation. And that moment when she says, "Gabe, I'm scared. What if they take mommy away?"
I know. Oh, she really gave such a great performance this episode too. And we got to see her a lot.
Yeah. And that hug between the brother and sister was
Oh, it just was so sweet, wasn't it? Even when she goes up to his room, he's a teenage brother, and instead of being annoyed with her, like, "What are you doing in here? Get out of my room." He immediately was, he sat up and was like, "What's wrong?" Just immediately concerned for her. And I think he's a pretty mature kid.
Except for that fight that he had with Miles about the bear.
Except for the fight. Yes. Absolutely. He's
Miles.
still He is a
animal.
teenage boy. Yeah.
And I think Mitchell played Gabe perfectly. I think he
Mhm.
did a fantastic job.
He sure did. I agree.
Um, can I put in a request, Hallmark, to bring Mitchell back as Gabe, as a young Mountie?
Oh, that would be great. Can we get that? That would be fantastic. I love that
I'm
idea.
sure we'll talk about the moment when he says he wants to be a Mountie when we get to that episode. I think it's later on in season one. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, can Gabe come back to what is now Hope Valley?
Yes, that would be great.
Yes. And maybe bring Rachel back too. Maybe they can be married.
Yes, can we please see them grown up and married? Oh, that would be so sweet.
Yes. And then also Reverend Anderson, I think, grew even more in this episode than
Mhm.
episode three.
Oh, he sure did. He had great growth.
Yeah. What did you think
Hmm.
about his arc in this episode?
Oh, the scene that stands out to me, and we'll get to it because I know it's toward
Mhm.
the end, but
Yeah.
when he asks Kat for forgiveness and the
Hmm.
congregation, and he explains what he's been going through and
Yeah.
what he's been feeling. And I just really appreciate how he just was so honest with everybody and
Yeah.
vulnerable and just he came clean. He asked for
Yeah.
forgiveness. Such a great scene. He had a great performance.
Yes. As we said, I think we both agree that he is just, a character who lost his way, so to speak.
Hmm.
And, him asking for forgiveness because of his actions really shows a growth in him personally and how he's trying to, I guess, gain a little bit more humility.
I agree.
Hmm. So, Mountie Watch, we have Jack in his office. He is comparing the whale oil from the burn site, or, the little piece of wrapper that
Yeah.
is attached to the can,
Hmm.
to the one from Cat's Shed, which is, of course, a match. I mean,
Hmm.
there's no denying it's the same can.
Right. Right.
And then Gowan and Spurlock come in, not related to the case, but we find out that Jack and Spurlock went to the academy together, but Spurlock didn't make it that far to become a Mountie. He decided to quit and become a Pinkerton.
Hmm.
I love in that moment how Jack kind of rolls his eye
Right. Oh, took the easy way out.
way out. In that scene, they're talking about reopening the investigation about the church fire, and they're pressing him for information because Spurlock apparently sees that he's testing cell samples, I think it is,
Hmm.
and Jack assures them that he'll let them know when he
Hmm.
gets any more information. And then he's confronted by Gabe. That moment,
Hmm.
he's like, if you arrest her, I swear I'll fight you.
Hmm. Bold. I mean, talk about not fearing authority. At least in that moment, I would never
Oh,
be able to say that to a constable or an officer.
no,
He just had no fear.
if you did that now, or what he did in the other scene,
Hmm.
handcuffed.
Yep. You ain't going nowhere.
That other scene could be considered assault
True. True.
in a
Absolutely,
way.
though.
I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't injure Jack.
No. And Jack obviously didn't take any action toward him
No,
after that. But it also shows, I mean, how gracious Jack is. Because
Jack is, yes.
maybe if it were another more
Hmm.
stern Mountie, it could have been so different.
Like Hardgraves.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that scene with Hartgraves? Oh, oh my gosh. I would not want to know the punishment that Hartgraves put on Gabe. And he's punished Nathan. Nathan didn't even do anything to him. Oh, I can't even imagine what it would be if Gabe
Nope.
did something toward him. Oh
Nope.
goodness. Not good.
Uh,
Bad news
no.
bears.
A little bit later on, Jack questions politely, of course, kindly, Gabe, Emily, and Miles about, what happened the night of the vigil. And they have different stories. None of them really know where she went,
Yeah.
but Gabe and Miles say she didn't get home until late after they'd gone to bed. And I think it's Gabe that mentioned that, Abigail stayed until their mom got there. Emily says that it wasn't until the next morning that their mom got back when the sun was up and the rooster was crowing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That moment after, I think it's Emily walks out of the saloon and, it's just Jack and Elizabeth. Jack says that he needs to question Kat more,
Yeah.
at her house. And Elizabeth is like, I'm going with you. And it's like, that's not such a good idea. And I love how she says, if you're going to wrongly interrogate an innocent woman and friend of mine, I'm going to be there.
Yes, girl. Yes, queen.
He's
And
like,
then I also
okay.
like how she's like, doesn't she say something like late at night, in the morning? What does it matter?
Apparently enough to lie about it, I think is what Jack
Right.
said.
Oh, she just won't back down.
Nope.
Nope.
And then we get the scene where Jack is, of course, at the Montgomery's row house with Elizabeth. They're all standing outside. Kat and Elizabeth, I think, are on the steps, and Jack is on the road right in front of the house. And, he's trying to get her to give more information. And of course, timing, Gabe comes out. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And she doesn't want to say anything in front of the kids because of a specific reason, which we will get into in a minute. And, she's like, I can't disclose any information right now. So Jack has no option other than to take her in for questioning. Gabe's reaction, oh my word.
Oh,
The way his eyes just got big,
right.
like,
Right.
you're arresting her?
Mm-hmm. And just full of tears. Yes. Oh, I know. He's so protective of his mom.
Hmm.
You see how much he loves her and how much
Yeah.
he's willing to fight for her. Mm-hmm.
And the moment when he walks up to Jack and he's like, I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kat's just trying to get him to calm down. And then the mother and son moment with the
Yes.
hug.
Oh, that was a really good hug. And
Yeah,
he wasn't afraid to, step in front of his mom. And
hmm
not that Jack was being this big threatening Mountie,
no.
but he's just right there to protect his mom.
hmm Yeah. And I love how she says something along the lines of, I know this is hard, but I need you to be a grown up and be brave about this.
Yes. She knows him.
Such a good moment.
It's
Such
so
a good
good.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then community chatter. So school scenes. Elizabeth comes to Albert's defense, who is getting bullied by James. Not cool, James.
No, no.
And the line from Elizabeth that she says to James always makes me chuckle when, he says, I was just funning him, Miss Thatcher. And she basically tells him he's going to stay after school to help clean the classroom. And she says, oh, I know exactly what you were doing, which is why I'll make sure cleaning is extra fun for you too.
Yes, teacher of the year.
Scary teacher face.
So good.
I think that was our first like real scary teacher face
Hmm.
of the
Yeah,
show
I think so
when
too.
she walks up and sees
Hmm.
the
And it
bullying.
worked.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I loved a little moment. with Albert after James walks away.
Me too. Very sweet.
And then we get another scene at school when Elizabeth is teaching a lesson about explorers, and Rosaline is describing her drawing about, I think she says it's what the explorers saw when they reached the top of the mountain, I think is what she said. And then the scene with Albert and Elizabeth. Now, Albert's nickname is Pockets because of all the treasures that he carries in his pockets.
Yeah.
And he gives Elizabeth the necklace he found in the creek and shares the story of how he got it. Of course, we know it was Spurlock's. She politely declines. And I love this quote from her when she says, "Girls don't care if a gift is fancy, not even girls who used to be rich. What we care about are gifts that come from the heart." And then she says, "You are going to make some young lady very happy someday."
So sweet.
And yes, we weren't huge fans of Lucas and Elizabeth. We did not like them as a couple. We just weren't huge fans of them. But this is kind of a parallel Easter egg to, I think it was, I can't remember if it was season 9, episode 1, 2, or 3, or maybe 4, somewhere around there. It was early in the season when there was that scene with him and Elizabeth on the balcony when they're talking about the teacup, and she's talking about heartfelt gestures instead of material gifts.
Yes, that was right after the hot air balloon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's probably 2 or 3. It might have been the same episode as the book release, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it could have been, because I think it was, that scene's right at the beginning of the episode. Yeah.
But that was a great scene, even though we weren't huge fans of Lucas and Elizabeth. That is one of my favorite scenes with them.
I agree. I like that she felt like she could tell him, hey, you don't have to do all these extravagant things. I appreciate it, but the small things are just as meaningful.
My point in bringing that scene up is I love how from season 1 to season 9, and even now, Elizabeth really, while she has had her moments, specifically season 8 and 9, at the heart of it, she really hasn't changed.
Right.
I mean, she still feels the same in this sense about gifts. It's not about the grand gestures. It's about what's in the heart.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah, she still is who she is.
Yeah. So Coal Valley highlights. What were 3 of the best scenes for you?
Oh, man. Top scene for me would be toward the end of the episode with the congregation with Kat and Reverend Anderson. And he's asking her for forgiveness. He's asking the people for forgiveness. I love that scene. Also, when Elizabeth and Jack are in the row house and they're talking, and I don't have any of the dialogue written down, but basically Jack is kind of explaining things to Elizabeth, and he tells her, just let me do my job.
Yes.
And that scene totally reminded me of season 7 episode Into the Woods, when Nathan tells Elizabeth the same thing. I know the situations are different, the circumstances were different, but it just reminded me because I thought, oh, both Mounties have told that to Elizabeth, and she in this episode is just trying to help the Montgomery family. And also in Into the Woods, she was just trying to help Emily. So I thought it was interesting in both episodes, both men tell her, just let me do my job. She's not doing anything wrong, but in both episodes, she's trying to help. Yeah. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. And it's ironic that both scenes involved Montgomerys.
Yes, right? I thought so too. I thought this is obviously the OG scene, but I thought there's a lot of similarities going on.
Yep. And, that's the scene when, before he explains and asks her to allow him to do his job, she says, you arrested an innocent woman in front of his own children. Why, Jack?
Right.
And you can see in that moment he doesn't really want to, but he has to.
Hmm. Right. Right.
And that's when he's leaving to go check out her story.
Hmm. Exactly. And
Yeah.
Elizabeth, she's not
Yeah.
afraid to ask these
Yeah.
questions. Hmm.
Yeah.
It's is quick, but the scene with Gabe and Emily, where she goes to his room and
Oh, yes.
is asking him
Yeah.
what an arsonist is and is telling him that she's afraid,
Yeah.
and they have that wonderful hug. Um, and then really the whole episode was so good, but the end of
Yeah.
the episode where we realize Kat is innocent
Yes.
and just the embrace with her and her children and just that relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe that was more than three. Sorry.
So yeah, it's 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you already mentioned it, but the church service and Reverend Anderson's speech, when they make amends and Kat wants him to lead service and he is asking the town for forgiveness after doing the same with Kat. And then another great scene, while it's emotional, when Kat shares her story with Elizabeth about her husband,
Mm.
Joe, and the events after the mine explosion leading up to the church fire.
Hmm. Oh, I'm going to add that to my list. Yes. That was another fantastic scene. I agree.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. And, Elizabeth, towards the end of that scene, she point blank asks Kat, what are you going to do if Jack can't find the man or he won't corroborate your story?
Hmm.
And Kat says, I haven't thought that far into the future. And Elizabeth says, I hope you don't have to.
Right.
She's talking about, do you really want to keep this secret from your children and be prosecuted for a crime you didn't commit because of
Right.
that?
Right. Right.
Oh,
And realizing she would rather keep her children's memory of their father the way it was
hmm
and just bear this on her own.
hmm
Hmm.
Of course, Jack saving Elizabeth from Spurlock after finding out he framed Kat and the reunion with the kids, between Kat, Gabe, Emily, and Miles. The look between Jack and Elizabeth in that moment was so.
Oh, it was so sweet. And I also have to add that to the list. It was the first rescue with
Hmm.
Jack and Elizabeth, the first save.
Hmm. Yeah.
And we get the first hug, the first embrace. Oh,
Yes. Also, the boat picnic at the
oh,
end
another one.
when he saves her from the spider. They have the picnic lunch. Those two lines at the end of that scene between them. Elizabeth is like, we probably shouldn't make a habit of that. Absolutely not.
Oh,
You
what
kind
they're
of
not
did.
saying.
You kind of did make a habit of it, Jack and Elizabeth.
Hmm. You eventually did.
Some honorable mentions, just based on the dialogue in this scene. Elizabeth cooking dinner for Gabe, Emily, and Miles when they're
Yes.
talking about the biscuits. And
Mhm.
I think it's Emily who says, as she's picking up one of the biscuits and putting it on her plate, she's like, our mom's biscuits wouldn't make a sound. And Elizabeth is like, maybe you can soften them up with some gravy. And then Miles is like, or a sledgehammer.
Oh,
Oh,
so sweet. It's just so sweet how she's really trying her best to
yeah,
cook for these kids and make them a
yeah.
meal.
And then the burned to a crisp chicken.
Mm,
Literally, like the chicken
it's
is like
black.
just a pile of ash.
Yes, pretty much. You couldn't even tell what it was.
And then the next day she tries to cook the chicken again, and it's like pink. It's not even cooked.
And
And
she's like, "Cook! Why won't you cook?"
she's like, "How are you still not cooked? Cook,
Yes.
but
It's so
just
good.
don't burn on me again."
Right. It's so
Uh,
good. She's just determined to just not burn or ruin anything.
and then this scene when Gabe confronts, so to speak, his mom about the church fire when she's in the jail. Oh,
Mm. Whew.
the
Yeah.
emotion in that scene. He's pressing her about the church fire.
Mhm.
And she says, Gabriel, you know I would never do such a thing.
Right.
And the tears in Gabe's eyes.
Mhm.
Why are you lying?
Mhm. Oh, his emotions this whole episode, I mean, were just so raw. And he just was not afraid to try and get to the truth, whether it was from
No,
his mom, whether it was from
no.
Jack. I mean, he was just so determined
Hmm.
and really didn't rest at all.
Yeah. And this was after he was in the mercantile with Elizabeth and Emily and Miles, and he had heard Dottie and another woman talking about his mom,
Right.
literally right in front of him.
Right. Yes.
Not cool, Dottie.
No. No. Yeah, these are two strikes are against her now.
Love Dottie, but not cool.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, she's not super lovable yet.
You don't talk about your own townspeople right in front of them
No.
in a negative way.
No. Definitely not, especially not in front of the children. Be aware of your surroundings.
No. Uh, she should take a page out of Norman's book. Assume nothing.
Right. That is great advice.
Who do you think had the best performance in this episode?
Oh, I think it was Gabe for sure.
Yeah.
It's between Gabe and Jack, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Agreed. Yeah, it's a two-way tie. And
And
also,
Elizabeth and Kat, four-way
Kat.
square again.
Yep. Yeah, they all did a great job. And what is the best quote for you in this episode?
Let's see. And I am so sorry, I forgot to write it down, but it was when Elizabeth is journaling toward the end of the episode, whatever it is that she journals, I really liked.
Is it after Jack saves her? Because I think I have the same one.
Yes.
Now, I don't have the whole journal entry, but I have, I think, the last one or two sentences.
Mhm.
Sometimes we need to trust each other because the truth isn't always what it appears to be. And sometimes love comes just in time to save your life.
Yeah. So good.
So good.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you for capturing that.
Yes, of course. I think so far all the best quotes have been from Elizabeth.
I think they have. She's such a great writer.
Yes. I'm sure we'll have quotes from other characters
Mhm.
as we continue to review, because
Yes.
there are some great quotes from some other characters, Abigail included.
Oh, yes. Lots of good ones coming up.
But going to Faith and Frontier, what were some themes for you in this episode?
I think for me, just the theme of fighting for justice, fighting for
Yeah.
those that you love,
Hmm.
um, whether it's a fight within yourself
Hmm.
or if it's, out in the open. I mean, just being committed and being there for those that you love. And the theme of not wanting to stop or give up until you find the truth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, some themes for me, secrets and protective silence. Of course, this is shown through Kat's arc about her carrying a painful secret,
Mhm.
with her late husband's gambling debts. and initially hiding the truth to preserve her children's memory of their father. Her silence, though rooted in love, leads to suspicion and wrongful accusation. It also illustrates how hidden truths, even with good intentions, can inadvertently harm both oneself and one's community. So, if you were Kat, what would you have done in this episode? Like, would
Hmm.
you have told your children, or would you have done just like she did?
Hmm. I think I might have done what she did
Mhm.
because I think I am someone who, when it comes to people that I love and care about, I am somebody that wants to protect their
Mhm.
integrity, that wants to have others see them in a good, positive
Mhm.
light. And I don't want to do anything to tarnish that, even if
Mhm.
it means keeping something to myself that I know
Mhm.
that maybe I don't want others to necessarily know because I don't
Yeah.
want how they see them to be
Yeah.
tarnished.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I think I would have done the same.
Hmm.
Two verses that go along with this theme. Luke chapter 8, verse 17. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought into the open. So this verse, it highlights the inevitability of secrets being revealed, a central point in the episode as her past is uncovered, which that's a great verse. And then two, Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13, whoever conceals their sin does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. So this goes along with Kat's story in the sense that, her reluctance to reveal the details of her late husband's gambling debts and the subsequent framing of Spurlock caused
Hmm.
her continued distress until she came clean to Elizabeth.
Hmm. Yes. Oh, it sure was because she
Yeah,
still wasn't telling her children,
no,
most of the
yeah.
episode.
Also, truth and honesty and standing up for what's right is a theme in this episode.
Mm.
So, Jack and Elizabeth both demonstrate a commitment to uncovering the truth,
Hmm.
despite the initial appearance of evidence pointing to Kat's guilt.
Hmm.
Their persistence ultimately, and of course, clears Kat's name and exposes the malicious actions of Spurlock. This highlights the need to delve deeper and not accept superficial explanations, especially when someone's reputation and freedom are at stake. So basically, don't make assumptions until you know the whole story.
Mm.
I think this verse is an easy match for this theme. John chapter 8, verse 32. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Hmm. That's one of my favorite verses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And not the same scenario, but this verse is also mentioned in a Signed, Sealed, Delivered episode,
Oh, remind me which one?
Dark of Night,
Oh,
about
yes.
about Melissa Wheeler, the
That's
one who
right.
was sexually
Yes.
assaulted.
Yes. Oh, I do remember that now.
That scene when Oliver and Shane are in the mailbox grill, they have the
Hmm.
Bible, and I
Hmm.
think it's Oliver who opens the Bible to where Shane had bookmarked it, and it's
Hmm.
on John chapter 8, verse 32.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Now, in that show, it was 10 years is a long time to be a prisoner to a lie.
Hmm.
But in relevance to When Calls the Heart, I guess it would be 3 to 4 months,
Mm.
relatively, is a long
Right.
time to be a prisoner to a lie.
Yeah. That's months. That is a long time.
Great verse.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
Such a good reminder.
yes. And forgiveness and redemption. So, Reverend Anderson, even though he's not central in this episode, as we have stated a couple times already, He lost his way spiritually and then later regains humility by confessing his pride to his congregation, then receiving forgiveness. The storyline underscores the redemptive power of confession and the value of second chances. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another as God forgave you.
It's such a good verse. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just such a good reminder. It just
Yes.
applies to
Yeah.
daily life.
And also, true worth and inner beauty is another theme with Albert's gift of the necklace and, Elizabeth declining. His gift reinforces the idea that heartfelt gestures are more valuable than material possessions.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what's on the inside is more important than outward appearances or wealth. And a verse that fits this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so good.
Yes. Also, a verse used in Signed, Sealed, Delivered, the treasure box, when they're talking about the treasure box
Yeah.
at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
I think it's Oliver who says, where you keep your treasures, that's where your heart will be too. I think that was the line. I think that's how the verse was quoted in that episode.
So good. It's such a good one.
Yes. How do you think these themes apply to today?
I think they're so relevant for today. I think even just people who are fighting on a daily basis for those that they love, for wanting to seek justice for the accused or for those who aren't guilty, wanting to problem solve and get to the bottom of what's really going on, family being there for family, loved ones being there for loved ones, just being protective of each other and wanting to fight for one another, and even doing that for friends as well, like Elizabeth did for Kat and their family, just people who choose to stick by each other's sides in times of trials and in times of uncertainty. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed with everything you said. And I think as I stated for episode 3, there's a lot of divisiveness in this country, but I think we all need to stand together
Agreed.
for what's right instead of having hate, if that makes sense.
Oh, it completely makes sense. I absolutely agree.
So even though this quote hasn't been stated yet, it's not until season 4, it can apply to season 1 too. Bad things happen if good people do nothing.
That's so true. Such a good reminder.
On the topic of true worth and inner beauty, of course, no judgment, but there does seem to be a lot of stake or love these days in material possessions. Not from everyone, but there can be some that feel that way. But I think we all need to learn how it's not about the outward appearances. It is about what's inside.
Absolutely. We can appreciate those things, but those are the things that fade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I think the lessons on this show is one thing that makes it so special. Like, there's a ton of shows out there that are not good influences on people, that teach those things like outward appearances are more important than what's on the inside, even though that's not true. But this show teaches the opposite.
Right. I completely agree. One of the many reasons why we love it.
Yes. This world needs more of this show.
Completely. Yes. Can we go to season 30?
Yes. Can we go to season 37, please?
Yes.
And beat The Simpsons.
Yes. Yes.
And also, Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Can we get...
Yeah, that also needs to keep going. When's the next movie? Come on.
Yes. Please, Hallmark. Hashtag renew Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Renew When Calls the Heart for season 37.
Yes. Just forever.
And what is the overall message that you took from this episode?
Well, forgiveness is definitely something that I took away, whether it's forgiving someone else, whether it's forgiving yourself, just the message of fierce love and just commitment to people that you love, sticking by their sides no matter what. Yeah, I think those would be my two. Just the power of love and the power of forgiveness.
Yeah. I think this episode, it conveys a very powerful message on the damaging effects of secrets and lies, even when they are intended to protect others. And it also encourages honesty, forgiveness, and shows the unwavering pursuit of truth in a community facing adversity.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our Hardee's trivia for this week, our trivia question for episode 3 was, what was the game Elizabeth was going to teach Rosaline during lunch hour? That is Horse in the Stable. And our trivia question for this week, what did Jack and Elizabeth have for their picnic lunch on the boat? Leave your answers in the comments, Hardee's. All right, Hardee's. Well, I think that wraps up our review of When Calls the Heart, Season 1, Episode 4. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, you can like this video and share your thoughts about the episode in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review, as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of our reviews for When Calls the Heart, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube and follow along on Spotify, and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when those episodes come. You can also find the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Swing My Heart Podcast, and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful day or a night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.